I just casually wait for you.
Oh, it's your turn. You start.
Do I? Did you read last time?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention.
Well, I'll start.
All right. I'll start. Chapter 8, The Snitch. Harry walked into Charms by himself and was startled to see Lupin standing in front of the room, looking gloomy and annoyed. Professor Flitwick was nowhere to be found, and some of the kids, who knew he was a werewolf, were staring at him warily. Harry looked around and noticed a bunch of diagrams hanging on the walls, and for a moment he stared at one. When finally he realized what it was, he turned beet red and walked to his seat.
Oh my god. Ron and Hermione were already there, wearing identical smirks. Harry sat down next to him and shook his head, rolling his eyes at their faces.
This is all your fault, you know. They started to giggle. If you two could gain some self-control...
Lupin smiled weakly at Harry from the front of the room.
Good morning, class, said Lupin. He looked very tired. In light of recent developments, he glanced at Ron and Hermione as he said this, your headmaster has decided that it would be prudent that you are given a course in copulation discipline.
Oh no. The class stared blankly. Ron blinked.
Sex ed? asked Ron. Hermione snorted and Hermione snorted and tried to choke back her laughter. Some of the students laughed, others stared and got red in the face.
Harry shook his head again.
Precisely. Although, I can't imagine why most of you would read it. Bring sex ed to Hogwarts!
This is either going to go very, very good or very, very bad. And I have flashbacks to that one Sonichu webcomic where they tried covering sex ed and failed.
And failed miserably.
Oh, Lord. The students laughed again, shooting looks at Ron and Hermione, who glared back at them.
Anyway, started Lupin, and he went straight into a discussion about how and why certain things happen.
We can't even read this chapter with a straight face.
No, of course not.
Oh, man. Halfway through class, Lavender Brown asked about the different methods of magical birth control, and Hermione rolled her eyes. Lavender caught it, and they got into a brief argument that ended up with Ron shouting, "Neither of you is any better than the other."
Hermione shot him a nasty look that Harry knew would develop into some huge argument later, which would most likely end up with him kissing grossly for everyone else to see.
Draco Malfoy was sitting in the back with his arm over his gloomy-looking girlfriend Icicle. Pansy, he noticed, sat on the other side of the room and glared at him with red eyes. When Hermione and Lavender started arguing, he started to laugh, and Harry shot him a nasty look that he returned with relish.
Lupin stopped several potential fistfights between Hermione and a number of girls, and even Neville, who had asked to check the couple if they knew where to find birth control. Sorry, that is a really bad sentence. And Ron gave him a look that would have shriveled trees, and Neville simply looked away. Hermione told him to go write a note to his Death Eater pen pals, and Neville shot a nervous look to Lupin, who was now a well-known and honored member of Dumbledore's prestigious Order of the Phoenix.
Class went fairly uneven until the end, when Lupin finally decided to let them go. Harry, Ron, Hermione, and the rest of their classmates acted like nothing had happened at all in the room, and that no one had been arguing with anyone else mere seconds before.
As they walked through the hallway, Harry marveled at Hermione's ability to completely ignore the pointing and whispering. Some of the students were still pointing at him, obviously convinced of his guilt. Ron shot everyone a smug, proud looks as they laughed at his nonchalant nature. They finished their classes and sat in the library for a bit until Hermione finally remembered that she and Ron were late for an appointment with Madame Pomfrey, and they were sent, and they went on their ways.
Harry was asleep, and in one of the common room's chairs until a small, blonde second year tapped him on the shoulder nervously, muttering, "Mr. Potter?" and shoved a note into his hand, darting away with a furious flush on her face.
"Potter, the Minister of Magic would like a word. Professor Snape."
Harry was walking through the hallway towards Snape's office when they suddenly spotted Mr. Weasley, who was looking down at the hallway with nervously tapping his feet.
"Harry," he called Mr. Weasley gratefully when he spotted him. He grabbed Harry's shirt and pulled him towards him.
Mr. Weasley inspected him quietly.
"Harry, I was wondering if you could do me a favor."
Okay.
"Well, Harry, here's the thing. Ginny won't let Madame Pomfrey look at her until everyone believes she's telling the truth. And technically, I'm not allowed to go into any of the common rooms, being a ministry official and all. I was wondering if maybe you could talk to Ginny for me? You know, calm her down a little bit. Ask her about the
pregnancy?"
Yes, of course.
Harry stared at him.
Mr. Weasley, why me? Why don't you ask Ron or Hermione or something?
Oh. I'm sitting there like reading ahead. What the fuck? Mr. Weasley coughed impatiently.
"Well, I guess that would be because Ginny's not too happy with Hermione at the moment, and vice versa. And Ron, well, bless him, but he doesn't have much tact. But you, well, I thought you, given your past history, might have a different insight for the miracle of life and all that good stuff. Plus, well, the authors want us to keep this movie." You understand what I'm saying?
Yes. Oh my god.
I told you. I forgot that. I totally forgot about that.
Oh
What author?
Thank you, Harry. That'd be brilliant.
Without another word, Mr. Weasley disappeared around the corner and vanished.
Harry was left speechless.
He made his way back to the common room and stood at the bottom of the stairs leading to the girls' dormitories, calling Ginny's name and asking random girls to go up and find her, if possible. One girl's face lit up when Harry approached her and became gloomy when she heard all he wanted was Ginny.
Finally, after about 30 minutes of that bullshit, Luna Lovegood broke into the common room again and went up and actually found her. Her hair was very messy in the back, Harry noticed.
Ginny came down the stairs holding a large green book. Harry noticed the cover very closely. It was a very old man with a long gray beard and a small dark-haired boy.
"Jenny?"
"Yes?"
"Could you put down the book for a minute?"
She snapped the book shut and glared at him, annoyed.
"What?"
"Well, can I talk to you a bit?"
She walked over to the chair and sat down, balancing the book on her knees. She was still looking at him accusingly, as if she knew exactly what this was about.
"Where's my dad?" she asked, scowling at him.
"He's not allowed to come into the common room."
"Ah," she kept glaring at him.
"Well, I mean, you won't talk to anyone or anything. You keep hiding in your dormitory reading, and you won't talk to Hermione or Ron, so everyone's worried?"
She kept glaring.
"Look, Jenny, why don't you just let Madame Pomfrey take a look at you? The baby, you and the baby, you know it's for the best."
She narrowed her eyes.
"I don't have to do anything."
"No, I mean, I know, but it's better for the baby, and what if something was to happen?"
"Why are you here, Harry? What did you want? What do you get out of all this?"
He paused.
Nothing. It's just your father.
I don't care what my father was. She picked up the book and slammed it on the floor. She glared at him and her eyes were starting to get red.
A group of nearby fourth years were watching her.
Jenny, fine, whatever, it's okay, said, hoping she wouldn't cry. He hated it when girls started to cry.
Nobody believes me. I hadn't been this messed up since Riddle, and now look what's happening. Hermione's all mad at me for no reason, and Ron's ignoring...
Hey, what about all the stuff you said to them in the hospital wing? You can't expect her to get over something like that overnight.
She shook her head and picked up the book. Yeah, well, whatever, I'm going now. And she stormed up the stairs.
The fourth years were still watching.
What are you lot kids looking at?
Yeah, like I said, feel free to edit. Harry was on his way back to the Great Hall when he caught up with Hermione and Ron, who were walking with Luna.
You know what I could have followed it up with?
What?
I'm walking! Walking here!
I'm walking here! Yeah. I know.
You got that, Rona.
Okay.
Alright. Hiya, Harry. What's the matter?
Nothing, he said, ignoring their questioning looks. They walked through the doors and immediately kids everywhere started to look at Harry and point, talking amongst themselves.
What the bloody hell is going on in here? Asked Ron, staring at everyone as they found their seats. A girl from Ravenclaw with black, curly hair came up to Luna and tugged on her sleeve. She whispered something in Luna's ear and Luna shut up, shaking her head furiously.
Harry, she shouted, grabbing his shirt and pulling him from the side. Some of the Gryffindors overheard something in the common room about you and Jenny?
What? You did what? With my sister?
Ronald, don't be such a prat. Of course he did. Ron!
Ron was hurtling toward Harry. Harry pulled out his wand at the same time Hermione and Luna, and that sentence is not correct, lady.
I know. Like I said, this is not perfect.
Hermione, Luna, and Hannah Abbott did. They all yelled a different spell, which had interesting effects.
Harry wasn't surprised to see Ron lifted in the air because he felt Levicorpus when he saw Ron come towards him. Hermione went with the traditional impedimenta, which kept him still despite the fact that he was hanging upside down. And Hannah Abbott went for some charm that wrapped ropes around his arms and legs. Luna wasn't trying to stop Ron. She just wanted to summon a chair.
Ron, how many times a day do I have to stop you from killing someone?
Ron didn't move. He couldn't.
Hermione took her spell away and Harry let Ron fall onto the floor, suddenly uncaring. Hermione untied the ropes on his legs and led him out of the room by his bound arms while they shouted at each other. Kinky.
Harry rolled his eyes and was glad to see both of them go. Hermione wasn't quite as crazy, but she'd still only end up kissing Ron in the common room.
Luna and Harry sat down and ate with the Gryffindors. The brown-haired girl who had been spreading rumors about him was nowhere to be seen.
About 30 minutes later, Ginny stormed into the Great Hall.
Harry, I need to speak with you.
Harry got up from the table reluctantly and followed her outside.
How could you say something like that?
I didn't say anything. This girl was...
I have had enough going on without you spreading rumors about me and Ron, making Ron more angry.
Are you crazy? Do you think I want Ron to be mad at me all the time?
She shoved him and he fell, caught off guard. Jenny stomped off.
Harry got to his feet and brushed himself off. He was muttering to himself when he heard footsteps. He turned and jumped. It was Cho Chang.
She walked straight toward him and shoved him with all her might. He fell again.
Whore! She screamed and walked into the building. Whore! You know what? We should have gone with, slut!
If all men our king. If he breeds, he's a whore! Alrighty, I think we're going to,
Yeah, I don't believe in destiny, I just do what's best for me. Don't listen to my enemies, they're just full of jealousy. Yeah, this legacy, you gon' see what's left of me. You gon' see success in me, you ain't seen the rest of me. I just wanna be the best at what I know, better than the rest, just watch me grow. Put me to the test and watch me go. This is my quest, I'ma make it known. They call me obsessive, oh I know. Call me selective with my notes, call me aggressive with my flow, call me offensive even though Joe, I ain't gonna lie, life's tough. Try to get by, life's rough. Try to do it right, it's not enough. Even though you try, you still mess up. But I'm still gonna fight for what I love, still gonna die for what I love, still gonna try, I won't give up, still gonna fight until I